Everyone, I'm coming to you today, let you know when you're moving to Louisville, where should you live? And a lot of that is predicated on what is your lifestyle. And I know I've been beating that to death in a lot of my videos. And if you see those, you'll know what I'm talking about. But, Louisville's a very diverse area. We have urban areas, and then we have not far away, it doesn't take long to get to some of the more rural areas. And then there's things like your golf course communities. We have a number of those that are award winning, by the way. And I do know that a lot of cities in the United States those have been diminishing in value. As a matter of fact, they're more of a detractor against the price versus an attraction on the price. So Louisville is still fairly strong. So we'll talk about that. If you like hiking, if you're more of a suburban person, if you like urban living, high rise living, that this is where you want to come today to listen to this video. And I'm going to show you some things. I'm going to do some screen sharing, so you're not looking at me all the whole video. But so I'm going to jump right in with a few of the spots that you're going to want to look at, depending on what your lifestyle is. Where are you in your life cycle? Are you just a building family, or are you downsizing? So starting out with my first one is hiking. So if you're a hiking family, you like to just basically walk out the door and be able to go hiking. We have a number of communities that are right on some very large parks. Louisville has 120 parks. Now, obviously, some of those are going to be like a corner lot in an urban area, right? Or some playground equipment. But overall, we have 120, which I think is formidable for a city that, basically encompasses the whole county. And then some of those parks that I would recommend, if that's what you liked, would be Cherokee Park, Iroquois Park are two of the biggest ones that comes to mind when you're doing that. So I want to do is share my screen. So let me do that with you, and I will put it over here. All right. So hopefully, let's see. Hopefully I'm screen sharing, and it is Iroquois Park. And Iroquois Park's a pretty neat park in that um, it does some neat stuff in the winter now. They have like in the Halloween time. Let me see if I can get to that picture for you. They do this jack-o'-lantern spectacular type thing. And it's thousands of these carved pumpkins, and that it's pretty neat. They also do now winter wood spectacular. So I don't know if I can, oh, see, this is the jack-o'-lantern thing. I think that's so neat. And I'm not even really a Halloween person, but and then depending on when it's COVID or not COVID, there was drive-through versus now this winter they're doing the winter wood spectacular, and it's a walking. But right now the temperature is not that crazy bad. So Iroquois Park, I don't even know how many acres it is, but it's a lot of acreage. And so you can step out your house. Now this price point is going to be a little bit more tenable versus the next one I'm going to show you, which would be Cherokee Park. So let me share my screen and get Cherokee Park for you. And now these will be a little bit higher price point than the ones I just showed you. And let me get to, here we go, Cherokee Park. All right. And this will have a little more water. There's really, I don't think, any waterways in Iroquois Park. I don't really recall it, but it's pretty high. We used to run it, believe it or not, back in the day. But so Cherokee Park is more city center, whereas the Iroquois Park is more towards the southwest side of Jefferson County. Cherokee Park, excuse me, is almost smack dab in the center. It's kind of neat. So I was just east of center of the county. So let's see if they have any pictures besides this here. I'm not seeing any. Okay, photos from users. Well, here we go. Now they have the dog run park. So if you're a dog person, I could probably do a video on that. So it's gorgeous. My friend got married somewhere over here in a place that wasn't in the water, of course. But it's pretty beautiful. This is the fountain up at the top, Hogan's Fountain. This is when it does snow the few times a year, this place will be just mobbed with sledders. And here you can see some kids sledding. So it gets pretty popular in in the winter when it does those few days. Here's some fall foliage. It's a gorgeous park, and it's several hundred acres. It's huge. It's just monstrous. And you have this pavilion. When I was working for Humana, we had some team building things with a mentor group at Atherton High School here, and I thought that was pretty neat facility. So a lot of good overlooks. It's very well maintained. It's part of the Olmsted Parks and group, and so Louisville's pretty proud of it. Of course, there's also golf, which we'll deal with in a whole nother topic. But so if you're a hiker, these are two great areas depending on the price point. So you can just got to let me know what is it you're looking for before we go looking. So as I get into this, I want to let you know stop sharing my screen. And I am Margaret Weathers. I am with Coldwell Banker McMahon, and I would love to help you find the home that you're looking for in the Louisville area. And I think it's really important for your agent to know what is your family life cycle. How does it make up? Like, do you have to take 5 different kids to all these different activities? Well, you don't want to live out too far or far away from the school. So then you kind of have to look at what school is my kid going to go to? Are you going to go to private school or public school? And then if you're public, then it's the homeschool thing, which one they assign to you. And that recently changed. They're trying to let people be a little closer versus doing all the busing. So all of those things factor in, which is why I say that it's so important to let me know, what is your life cycle in your family? What things do you guys like? Do you like to do? What does it constitute? Do you have multiple generations? Things like that. Do you have pets? Is going to walk in a park important? So I just listed and sold a condo in Hunting Creek. The guy goes to the park every day and walks with his dog for 3 miles. So it was really important for him to be in a park setting where he can take his dog every day. And he's got a blue heeler that he loves dearly. So moving on to number 2. If you're a golfer, so we have some award-winning golf courses in the Louisville area, and I'm going to showcase a few of them for you. So let me share my screen again, and it's hopefully going to be this one. Oh, this one over here. Okay. All right. And share. All right. So here we are. I'm going to go over here. Glen Oaks. Now there's a couple of them, and I'm going to list them off real quick. And this is not even an all-inclusive list. Cardinal Club is one. Lake Forest, very popular over the last 10 to 15 years. Audubon Woods, Polo Fields, Hunting Creek, Glen Oaks, and Persimmon Ridge, just to name a few. So golf is pretty popular still in Louisville. We have not had the decline to the extent of many cities throughout the nation have in the golf world. As a matter of fact, we just had Topgolf come to the Louisville area. So as I'm showing you right here, these are pictures of the golf Glen Oaks Country Club website. So you can go to this and look at them. And this is clubhouse stuff, the food. Obviously, all of the country clubs have gotten a little more flexible and robust in their memberships. They're not just as exclusive as they used to be. So it makes it more affordable for some families. Some families that maybe don't live on the golf course can still subscribe and maybe just get a limited membership for swimming or something. So this is Glen Oaks Country Club, and course photos, I think, is where we're at now. Anyway, yeah, course photos, so you can see that. So I guess you've seen enough of those, right? And then, I mean, just tournaments, for example. Here's some information on that. But PGA we did have the Ryder Cup in 2008 in Louisville, so that was a pretty big deal. And they had it at Valhalla Golf Course. And so here I'm going to show you some other photos. That's Glen Oaks again, isn't it? Okay, this is the Cardinal Club. So this is a little further east of Louisville. It's technically in Simpsonville, which honestly, the city people keep moving further and further east, but it's still a 20-25 minute ride to downtown center, for example. So here are some pictures from Cardinal Club's website. It's called Louisville, University of Louisville Athletic Club. Golf club is out there now. So you can see these photos. It's pretty gorgeous when you drive by. I think anyway, when I drive by an expressway, you can kind of even see a portion of it. So then I think I have, let's see, I think I have Hunting Creek, yet another one. So this is recently where I had a listing, and of course it's in fall now or winter now, so it's not as beautiful. But you can literally walk out your door and there's a golf course right there. So just to show you a few of those pictures. So if you're a golfer, they fought hard, and Top Golf came to town recently. It's been a big debate. Some people do not like it. It's over off of Oxmoor area. I'll show you, let's see, I had pulled it up for you here. And so it has, the eating and drinking and party events, but it's just open. It's only been open about a month. And they have sports bar, restaurant, you can use their clubs, bring your own type stuff. So here's some information. So it just came to town. So golf is really in everybody's thought process, even though it hadn't declined tremendously. But here I want to show you a map. So from downtown to there, it's only a 14-minute ride. So 9.5 miles from city center downtown to Top Golf. Now, what I'm going to tell you later on in another topic is when I talk about Hurstbourne, you can see that this is in that same area, Hurstbourne right here. Okay, so there are some great subdivisions over there if you're looking, and that's of course in another topic, but I just wanted to kind of briefly bring that up. So the number 3 area that you may, let me stop sharing right now. Let's see, stop share. I appreciate you being patient with me. Would be downtown, like your urban stuff. So downtown, Old Louisville, and the Highlands, what I would consider in that area. So we do have a few high rises in the downtown area now. And some of them were built since I've moved here. I moved here in 96, in December of 96. So it's been was built then sometime thereafter. I remember when they moved the Kingfish to build the buildings there. So it's downtown. Of course, you have a little bit more going on, but we do have so many restaurants in Louisville, so many, so many museums. So if you like to stay busy, maybe you like to walk to work, there are people that work at the University of Louisville and live in the Highlands and walk, or live in Old Louisville and walk, or they may bike. Louisville does have bike lanes in the downtown area. So if urban living is a little more your style, then you're going to get a little less house. Of course, it's going to be a smaller footprint, but you'll be open, you'll be accessible to so many amenities. We have 4th Street Live, which has some bars, restaurants, some neat stuff that goes on down there. You're not very far from Paristown, which is, they have a skating rink in the winter. Some like these little cute shed type booths. They're real cute, and you can buy different, people's wares, like an upscale flea market type thing. We have some things like in New Lou, which is what they call New Louisville versus Old Louisville, right? It's just barely east of downtown. And some neat like Logan Street Market, things like that. So you will have plenty of places to eat, plenty of places to go for like restaurants, museums, just different venues. We have like the Science Center. So if you got kids, that's always popular. I took my daughter there. The Bat Museum. We have Waterfront Park, which is awesome. So if you still want to walk, you want to be able to walk, but you're, in the middle of the city. It's gorgeous. You can walk for some miles on that thing and be on the waterfront. So and then, yeah, just a reminder, you do have the waterfront. So if you are in downtown Louisville, you will be overlooking the Ohio River, and you'll be able to see Indiana, which is pretty cool to do. So we have Butchertown, which is just slightly also little southeast, I would call it, of Louisville downtown, and Germantown right next door. They're all right next door to each other. Why don't I maybe even pull it up for you if I can? Okay, so let me see if I can pull this up. Ah, it's giving me a hard time. So, oh, here it is. So let me share my screen again, and we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you where like Germantown that is. So you see, okay, I just mentioned Logan Street Market. See, here's Germantown. Goss Avenue, we got Shelby Park, so Old Louisville. These are just places I just mentioned, which is perfect that this zoomed in so easy. So First Street, 65 kind of slices Louisville up the middle right here. So you got Smoketown, Paris Point, all these little nooks. Germantown, so you got some older buildings in there, and then like the Snitzelberg, all that is right through here, and it's not quite to Eastern Parkway. This separates it kind of right here, and in 65. So right here in this little armpit, I don't want to say armpit, but this little area, this little nestled right there, and then you got your old smoke towns right here. Butchertown is right here, and that's because the meat packet plant was over there. But you can see all the distilleries and stuff popping up over the last few years, and that didn't used to be there. Phoenix Hill is in there. So this would be, if you were really wanting to be in an urban setting, I would say, go through right here, or if you wanted, old Louisville right here. Um, you'll have some gorgeous old buildings in old Louisville. Victorian, see that popped up? Victorian mansions and upscale dining. I mean, there's some 3 layers of brick. It is amazing. So they're gorgeous homes. It's the largest collection of Victorian homes still standing in the United States right now. Uh, so again, you like urban living, this would be the key. If I had unlimited budget, I would be right down here on, let's see, right the East Witherspoon right here. I would be, and see, we got a park because you got waterfront, the Great Lawn and all that right here. So I would be here in the Witherspoon building, which is glass and is gorgeous and amazing. So another distillery. So there's plenty of stuff to do if you want to kind of hang out. You don't have far to go, and of course now with Uber, you can catch a quick ride. All right, moving on. So let me kill that. Stop sharing. And moving on to shopping. So if you like shopping, if shopping is your gig, I don't know that Louisville has the shopping. If you want New York shopping, we don't have it. It's just not here. Okay. We have 3 malls in essence of the true mall setting. All right. With maybe, sometimes there's second stories. It's enclosed, can walk within it. Now, lots of strip malls, of course. But as far as an enclosed type mall, that we had so many of in the 80s, there's only like 3, and one is Mall St. Matthews and Oxmoor Mall. And believe it or not, they are about a half a mile from each other. And I think I had them pulled up once upon a time when I was getting all this together for you guys. Let me go back to my map. I'm gonna find it for you because it's kind of interesting. So let me just say Oxmoor Mall. Okay. So here, like I showed you, let me share my screen again. Share. Okay, so in here you can see that Oxmoor Mall, they have a Dick's Sporting Goods. They are right here, and Top Golf is right behind it, as we were talking about earlier. And then Mall St. Matthews is literally on the other side of the expressway. I don't know if there's a half a mile between them. Maybe, it's not far. That's 2 of our 3 malls. They're literally that close to each other. Okay. There are not a whole lot to say about it. They have, a lot of the big outlet things that you want in them. I'm not a big shopper, so that would not be a draw for me. But there's Whole Foods over there. Cheesecake Factory is in the Mall St. Matthews. There's a movie theater in there, Dillard's, things like that. So like I said, back here is that Top Golf. There is a little concern about the lights, so just know that that's a big complaint right now. The only other mall we have is and I'm going to stop sharing again, and the only other mall we have is Jefferson Mall, and that is more on the south side. And oh gosh, Oklahoma area. So that's really the only other one we have. There are the bluegrass, the shops of the bluegrass. So if you're heading out 64 and get to like before Shelbyville, basically Simpsonville area, they'll be right off the expressway, and that's more outdoor shops. It's really fun though, is because they're hooked up, so you can kind of walk in through like a corridor per se, and so you are somewhat secluded from like wind and that. Of course, you wouldn't really be secluded from rain. Protected from rain. So, but it is pretty neat. I don't know that it truly outlet prices on some of that stuff, but I've been there. It's pretty cool. If I was a shopper, I would like it, you know. So shopping, not our biggest draw, but we do have it. If you're a mall person and you like to go shopping a lot, then you might want to live in those areas. That one, the first two that I mentioned that are so close to each other, that's the Shelbyville Road area. So if you were in the Hurstbourne area or Shelbyville Road, you'll be fine, you know, to get to. And of course, though, that Shelbyville Road is just lined with restaurants and stores and shops. So, all right, moving on to number 5. And that is if you are a true suburb person. So you just want the burbs. You don't really want any of the hustle and bustle of these places. Then I would probably say you need to go to a Prospect, and then there's different parts of Prospect, but Douglas Hills would be a subdivision you would want to go to. J-Town, which is called Jeffersontown, you would want to go there. Fern Creek, so those are more southeast areas of Louisville, and or east southeast areas of Louisville. Anchorage is somewhat historic. Your price point will be some of the highest price points in all of the area for us. Fern Creek and J-Town may be a little more affordable for the average person, probably in the right now, depending on the house, 200 to 300,000 price points. Of course, there's going to be more, there's going to be less, but just some averages. And then again, the Hurstbourne area. So right off like 64 and Hurstbourne Lane, there's some subdivisions in there that would be great. You're in a suburb area, and but yet you're still close. You can jump on, you know, come out of your subdivision, jump on Hurstbourne, jump on the expressway if you want to get back to town. So you still have that seclusion. And then my last, I guess, topic category would be kids. So if you have kids, what I would highly suggest is, I don't know that downtown would be my recommendation. First of all, we don't have a lot of schools in the downtown area. There's very few. You're not going to get a lot of outdoor space in the downtown area. You'll get lots when you head to Prospect. You'll get lots in places like Shively. You'll get good. That's a more of a west southwest part of town. You'll get, the further out you go, the more land, you know, the more space, the more green space you're going to get. So it just depends what type of family setting you have. For example, Norton Commons, which is in the Prospect area, which is the northeast part of Jefferson County, and then it actually bleeds into Oldham County, but it's you don't get a lot of real estate. You get a house, you get a super nice house, but you won't have much of a yard. So if you want, you know, kids with a yard, you know, that might not be what you want. Now, some people, their kids, they don't go outside, so it doesn't much matter, you know. But what I would highly recommend, strongly suggest, is that you look at where you're going to put your kid in school and then kind of draw from there. I've literally moved people, as you can see, I have a moving company. I've moved people that they literally moved their house because of, you know, sold their home, bought a new house because they want to be closer to the kids' school. So people do that here all the time. And that would probably be my draw, is because when my daughter just graduated this past May, and it was always the drive to school, the fighting the traffic. And if I left at 7:14, I was good. If I left at 7:18, I was going to be late. You know, it was that much of a difference. If with traffic, you know, everybody's coming in from the East End into the downtown to work for either this, you know, the hospitals. That's where many of the hospitals are. Now there's some in the suburb areas, of course, but you know, they're heading downtown for all the big Humanas and Nortons and things like that. So you had a ton of traffic coming in the morning and going out at night, and that used to frustrate me. So I altered my time that I would leave work, you know, so that I would not have to be in all that. I hated it. So all of that is predicated on what you want to do, with your time. I hate wasting time in traffic. I do not feel Louisville is, and I digress, right? But is near any of the other cities that you'll think about, like LA or Atlanta, when it comes to traffic. I always budget 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes I shove it, maybe do 10 and 15 if I'm trying to squeeze in a lot. But and that's something I use as more than 30 minutes. I never gauge more than 30 minutes if I'm going anywhere in Jefferson County, unless I just know there's traffic or something. So, all right. So that wraps up my where should I live when I'm coming to Louisville. And I would love to be able to be the person to help you with that. My name is Margaret Weathers. I'm with Cole & Baker McMahon. My number is 502-664-9971. Again, 502-664-9971. You can always reach me at margaret@margaretsmoving.com. That's Margaret at Margaret's with an S, moving.com. And I'd be glad you can text me, call me, smoke signals, whatever way you want to get a hold of me. I'd be glad to help you. And until next time, take care of each other. Bye-bye.